During the second half of the 1970s, Yoshiko Sai emerged as one of Japan's most respected singer-songwriters, releasing 4 albums on the labels Black and Blow Up between 1975 and 1978 before stepping away from the music scene for 3 decades. From her 1976 second album Mikkō, the track Kagami Jigoku. Kind of a slightly dark, glowy vibe taking over, kind of somber chordal area with those glowy vibes. Love that chord progression. D major 7th to F major 7th and back. Taking more of a minor modality during the chorus, going from, it starts out like in D major 7th, but then goes to G minor, and then it returns to D, it goes to D minor, and then rocks between those 2 chords. I like the way her voice just kind of resonates over these sustained chords, and how she just, elongates these vowels, and with that fullness, that really real mid-range fullness. I like the way that light guitar is just putting these really soft licks, in choice places. I'm sorry, I cannot find the lyrics anywhere. I looked. Genius.com, funny enough, has an entry for all of her albums, but then when I click them on, it says lyrics, where it would normally say lyrics beside each title, it then in parentheses says lyrics missing. Yeah, if you know Japanese, please post your impressions about where these lyrics are going, whether they're self-evident, whether they're metaphorical. I just entered the title into Google Translate, and it just came out the same.
Kagami Jigoku.
I love those brush stroke drums, really kind of soft and mixed with that vibraphone, and I'm basically hearing those 2 plus the soft smooth bass and light guitar licks. Let's see who is playing on this album. Her albums from this period all have this really distinct artwork too. That I'm wondering if she may have been cover design. Teichiku design section, and let's see. Electric guitar on this album. Well, there are 3 guitars credited. All of them. Let's see. Ken Yahima. Masayoshi Takanaka. Yeah, I recognize him. He's done some solo stuff. Yasuhiko Tsumara. Let's see. All 3. Yeah. Takanaka was recording solo albums around this time on Kitty Records, and a whole bunch of solo albums. Tsumara, mostly a session guy, never recorded any solo albums. And Yahima would later record. Well, no, he never recorded a solo album, but he was in the Electro Keyboard Orchestra, put out an album in 1975. Takanaka had also been in Flied Egg, and the Sadistic Mica Band, and Brush. Yeah, all very esteemed bands on the Japanese scene. I love how her vocals are really fleshing out the melody. I mean, we've got these pretty chords that serve as just a real soft, kind of angelic backdrop to it all. But the way the vocal like arch that she creates between, as the keys change between D major 7th and F major 7th, really elevates the track. I notice how the vibraphone is there the whole time, but you rarely actually hear kind of like the mallet. You rarely hear the punctuality of the mallet hitting the the metal. You're just kind of hearing the glowy sustain of that instrument, like filling out and creating this pastel tonality amid the between each kind of light lick of the guitar, like just kind of melding into the bass almost, giving the bass kind of more of a luminous vibe. Okay, I just looked up that Teichiku design section, and this is, I don't think Discogs is giving me complete credits on this. They only list this album cover, but the cover to this album, Mikkō, is very similar looking artwork to her follow-up album, the 1977 release, Taiji no Yumi. Which looked to me like they were done by the same artist. Huh. Let's see. Did she... It didn't say in her bio. She's written poetry book. Oh, it says that she's done artwork. Let's see if Google Image... I was going to say at the beginning, I was going to assume that it was her artwork, and then they list that. And well, thank you. Thanks Discogs for throwing me in a loop let's see. The entry of her on Wikipedia, very scant. It just says, is a Japanese singer, composer, and poet from Nara Prefecture. Despite most of her work being composed in the mid-late 70s, Sai's music found resurgence on video hosting site YouTube, where her song Taiji no Yumi reached nearly 1 million views, despite her music having not previously been as far-reaching. The video, well, duh, this is the internet era. Music from around the world is at everyone's fingertips now, and the last 10 to 12 years have all been about music aficionados and enterprising, people who really dig deep to just put it out there before others, and to listen through it all, to sort through it all, and determine just how many great albums there were from the 70s and 80s. Like, because we no longer have to rely on just, we no longer are like isolated from one another with no way to connect beyond our own peer groups like back in the 80s, and having to rely on magazines, having to rely on Rolling Stone, whose own writers at the time were limited by the mediums of that era, because there was no internet, and so it was more easy to believe back in those days. Each year had maybe 10 good albums total, and I don't see how things could be that limiting when there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of musicians around the world, and there's say over 200 musically active countries at any given time, and let's see. The video, due to her online popularity, her music has often been remixed and remastered, and her songs are often, that's all they say on the wiki entry. I usually don't get sidetracked by that, but I wanted to say a little bit more about her artwork, but anyway, let's conclude the song, and I will go through more of the musicians. Okay, that was. I will just resort to my trusty.
Kagami Jigoku.
Yeah, could.
Kagami Jigoku.
Huh. That second one sounded like an American who speaks Japanese. Yeah, I'm sure either of them can pronounce it better than I can. Yeah, by Yoshiko Sai from her 1976 album Mika, her second release. And let's see, who else did we hear on there? Most interestingly, who did we hear on vibraphone? We heard Kuni Kawachi, who, let's see, put out, I'm not familiar with his, he's got a couple of albums that I don't think I've seen the covers to before. It's interesting. I'm going to have to bookmark those. Yeah, released a pair of albums in 1972. And funny enough, one of them has the look of like one of those early 60s exotica records. He was in The Happenings 4, and let's see, 13 credits according to RYM, although that's rarely complete. Yeah, appeared on some city pop records during the late 1970s. And the person that we heard on, let's see, bass, going back to Discogs for this. Oh, we have two bassists credited. We have got Kenji Takamizu, who, oh yeah, just, it's hard to keep track sometimes. And Isao Edu. And basically a session guy who appeared, I guess, on some of those, that whole series of Japanese albums from the early 70s that had like pictures of like that had like erotica themed. And he was in let's see, Motohiko Hino and his friends, and Akira. Oh god, I think I'm okay. I'd better stop trying to pronounce all these names. I'm murdering too many names here. Let's hear one more track from the album. The title track, Mikkō.
鳩場の誰かが私にくれた象牙の櫛とクジャクの羽を色あせた地図に
More of a folksy, almost kind of well, I'm hearing kind of like a maybe kind of Spanish element to this. I was about to say Western, then I was thinking, nah.
包んで流したよ
Or no, I'm hearing kind of an Indian. I'm hearing kind of like a, yeah, East Indian element slightly.
海賊船に乗り込んで
Or maybe it's what I'm really hearing is a gypsy vibe. Like kind of like a mixture of like pre-rock styles from outside the Anglosphere, spanning eastward from Europe.
宝探しでも出かけようか振り返れば地平線
Did you hear how she held on to that note, and she kept on holding on even as the music changed, even as we shifted keys and the cadence shifted and like basically the chorus, the musical chorus began anyway, and she just held that right over that. She has quite a real full, commanding, kind of resonating voice. It really reaches far.
旅立ちのお祝いをしよう
I love those really anthemic, like big toms, you know, that kind of like sound off like something really crashing and grand.
振り返れば地平線
Oh, those really those you know, open cadences that kind of like where the bars like end, or like the figure of eight ends on this like really tight kind of slow riff, and yeah, this really swelling grand chorus.
旅立ちのお祝いをしよう
Okay, once again, a title I'm not really able to translate because, let's see, translate on Google is recognizing this as a Finnish word. Let's see if I, and that, yeah, it's just giving me the same word in English.
Mikkō,
Mikkō.
Mikkō,
I'm pretty sure that the Japanese speaker is pronouncing it right. Mikkō.
Mikkō.
And then the English person like says it the way I was saying it without the, you know, wrong. Yeah.
ゆられゆられ
I guess I'm kind of a little bit suspicious of English, of English speakers who've learned Japanese. When they have no accent. Because when you learn a foreign language, you're supposed to also kind of take on the accent. That's kind of part of it, because the accent is a big part of the of proper pronunciation. Yeah, and so when I can just tell that it's a native English speaker who's learned Japanese as a second language, and they make no attempt to really sound Japanese. I don't know if I really trust their translation.
今に揺られ巡り巡る七つの海を私の行方を
I love the way her voice is just kind of like floating off these trading like Spanish guitar chords. Well, we got this one kind of like flamenco in this one, and it coming out like, well, really my right speaker, and then trading off with those more strum acoustic like Spanish guitar strum, and then that tabla, of course, and yeah, and her just kind of like waving above it all.
占っておくれよ上海帰りの船乗りさん今度は生きて帰れないううう
That is really just the ultimate moment in this song. That, yeah, more actually than the choruses or that, and it's a really powerful chorus and it's really compelling verses. But that really just is the showstopper. I just love the release and tension of this chorus. It's like it like it kind of like flows for a moment, or it kind of just like, you know, moves. It kind of like lets go and then tightens up. Oh, that is such a great combination, sitar and flamenco guitar, the way they kind of trade off. Each just kind of like subtly doing their little bit, keeping it kind of restrained and giving it, you know. I love how it's like swelling, rising, getting more voluminous now, thicker. Yeah, one of those choruses that can really just like ride out on a tidal wave. I love how that sitar is creating more and more of a buzz and getting just a little bit more persistent, like. Oh, I love the way the real guitar, like that bendy electric guitar, is now kind of slightly dueling it out, like in my right speaker with that flamenco, those you know. Epic song. God, I love it even more now than when I did, when I selected it, when I, just kind of selected it this morning. And yeah, Mikkō by Yoshiko Sai from her 1976 second album of the same name, Mikkō. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, great talent, would put out 2 more albums over the next 2 years and then disappear until the 2000s when the internet, brought her, made Japanese music of this era more popular, spread it throughout the West, and rightly so. For more Rubies and Sapphires from the catalog of Yoshiko Sai, see the directory of albums by Japanese artists linked in the description below. For Red Hot tracks and purples from this album, the one before it and the 2 after it, like and subscribe and follow me on social media and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about these 2 songs we just heard, the instrumentation, the layers, the melodies, the chord structures, the nuances, the vibe of it all, the interplay, the melodic strength and epicism, and most importantly, I guess, the vocal performance of our wonderful lady here. And if you understood the lyrics, what the meanings of these 2 songs may have been, or how you may interpret the meaning. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.